In this video, we're going to talk about a supplement that helped me to lower my A1C without changing any of my eating habits, and it could also help you to lower your blood sugar and A1C. So let's get into it. The supplement is called stevia. That's what I've been using for years to effectively lower my A1C. Here we are on my favorite website, Dr. Axe. We're going to talk about the 7 benefits of stevia and how to use it. Stevia is taken from a plant, a leaf in particular, and it's been used for over 1,500 years by those people that live in South America, particularly people of Brazil and Paraguay, and they consider it the sweet herb. Now they love it because it has no calories, and they use it in their tea as medicine and also as a sweet treat. They've used it for burns, stomach problems, colic, and even a form of contraceptive. That's pretty interesting. I've never heard of that before. So what is stevia? Well, like we said, it's taken from a leaf as an herbal plant, and it's said to be 200 times. I've seen all types of numbers, so we'll say 100 to 300 times sweeter than sugar. Now there's 3 different types of stevia. Let's talk about them. The crude stevia, green leaf stevia, that's the purest form. It's unprocessed pretty much, and they take the leaves and they ground it into a powder, and it's only 10 to 15 times sweeter than sugar. But it's the unprocessed version, probably the purest form that you can get. Then we have the purified stevia extract, which contains 95% of the stevia leaf, and it's considered to be just as effective, very, very close to the crude stevia that we just mentioned. Then we have the altered stevia blends. Now this is the one that they say that has 200 to 400 times sweeter than sucrose. So we're not even going to talk about sucrose. We know how unhealthy that is. It's an artificial sweetener. But the problem with these altered stevia blends is that it contains a chemical called erythritol. And we're going to talk about that later, because there's a popular brand that says that it has stevia, but we'll see about that. So let's look at the organic versus non-organic. Typically, organic is always going to be the best. It's non-GMO, which is non-genetically modified organism. No glycemic impact, which means basically that it will not affect your blood sugar level. And it's gluten-free. All right, so the non-organic stevia, they are GMO, and it also is no glycemic effect, also gluten-free. But it doesn't have to be made from organically grown stevia, so it's exposed to pesticides. Anytime you have something that's non-organic, generally means that it will be exposed to pesticides, which is not good for human consumption. All right, let's look at the benefits. May have anti-cancer abilities. So one of the things they could do is it could kill off breast cancer cells. Now, most people have never heard of that, but just imagine that. And it has, if it can fight off cancer cells, it should also be able to fight off different other kind of cancer cells, which is what it discusses. Number 2, can fight type 2 diabetes. Now, as I mentioned, I lowered my A1C. My story pretty much is my A1C for years, year after year, would always be at right around 6.2, 6.3, which is considered pre-diabetes. Well, my cousin told me about stevia, and I researched it, and I immediately got on it, got off of sugar. I use it in my coffee, and sometimes I also use it in my bottled water. I'll put a little bit of it in there and I'll drink it. It makes it sweet, but it keeps your blood sugar constant. It doesn't allow it to spike. So what I do, if I'm going to eat something very sweet like a piece of cake or some cookies, which I don't really eat anymore because I've switched over to healthy eating, but in the past I'll eat the cake and then I'll put some stevia in the water and I'll drink it, and it keeps your blood sugar level. It keeps it from spiking, which is great news for those with diabetes. So I did not change my eating habits. I still ate regular when I lowered my A1C naturally, and it was all due to the stevia. So if you have type 2 diabetes, it can help lower that A1C and your regular blood sugar, daily blood sugar as well. Number 3, supports weight loss. Since it has no calories, it makes sense that it would support your weight loss. And one thing I will say is that it lowered my cravings for sweets. I used to have a really bad cravings for sweets. I would go past a quick trip, or I would, if I put my eyes on a sweet, I had to have it. And then of course, when you start eating it, you almost can't stop. Number 4, it helps improve cholesterol levels. So that's good news as well. There's a study in 2009 showed that it had a positive and encouraging effects overall on your cholesterol, decreasing triglycerides. Number 5, it can lower your high blood pressure. And in some cases, to some people, it's so effective that if you have low blood pressure, you're not advised to take it because it could lower your blood pressure to dangerous levels. So for those of you who have high blood pressure, it could very well help with that as well. And also, it's unlikely to cause side effects. I have not experienced any side effects from it. Also can kill Lyme disease. And if you want to read about this, is it safe? It's pretty safe. There are some side effects that you could experience, like bloating, gas, and diarrhea. Talks about how to use it. It compares to the other sweeteners. I'm not going to go into that. So I'm going to show you the one that I use and that I've been using. Is this one here. It's called Sweet Leaf Stevia Drops, and this is what I've been using for years. As you can see, it has 0 calories, 0 sugar, non-GMO, gluten-free, and it's keto friendly, and it is organic, so it's pretty safe. So if you wanted to use it, if you wanted to get it, you can go over to you can click into the description of my YouTube video. This is one of my existing videos. If you click more, it'll take you to my website and to my Amazon affiliate site, and then you can find it on there, and then you can click on it. It'll take you to Amazon and take you to the product. Now, I mentioned earlier, there is a form that is marketed as stevia, but it's not, and it's called Truvia. You might have heard it, you might have seen the commercials. Truvia is actually made by Coca-Cola, but Truvia does not contain, it contains such a small amount of stevia is that it's not even worth mentioning. If you can see here, the first ingredient under the ingredients is erythritol, which is that chemical that I mentioned. And so generally speaking, you should stay away from Truvia because Truvia does not really contain any significant amount of stevia. As a matter of fact, I've heard that it's like maybe 10%. So stevia is the extract that you want. But of course, this is advertised and it's popular, so people reach for it. But if you look at a Google research, it says that Truvia does not contain stevia, only a portion of it, that is the sweet part, riboside A. And it says it's claimed to be a stevia-based sweetener. It says, however, this is incredibly misleading, and it barely contains any components of stevia plant, and certainly none of its health benefits. So there you go. So I hope this video helped you out, especially those of you guys who are suffering from diabetes. I can attest to the fact I don't have diabetes. I never had it, but I had high blood sugar. If you use this supplement, it can definitely help you. Always do your research. Maybe consult your doctor, although a traditional doctor will have no knowledge of this unless he's been exposed to natural healing and so forth, or supplementation. But I hope this has helped you. You guys have a good one, and I'll see you on the next one.